Streaming is confusing. Is it doing it? Do I hear anything? I don't hear anything. Streaming is confusing. Okay, now I hear myself. So, not really anything interesting today. Oops. I've been slacking off on doing work. I haven't been able to focus very much on work, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually just gonna write some programming assignments that I need to get done for next week right now. So, this is my object-oriented programming class. I teach like 3 different programming classes, like one after another. The like starter C++ class, the object-oriented one, and then data structures. So I have an assignment I need to write for this, and I have an assignment I need to write for this. So hey, if you want to watch me write programming assignments, I'm gonna do that now. And actually what I'm gonna do for this assignment was I started off with a program where they could have like a quiz like program that had questions it loaded and stuff. But we're gonna change it to use polymorphism because now they can actually have different types of questions and use polymorphism to make it all work good. So first step in me writing a programming assignment is to write the program to make sure everything kind of works the way I would assume. And then the next step is maybe add tests. This one does not have tests. I have not graded their project 2s yet. I should do that, but yeah, I might not write tests. That would be something for another day possibly. And then also the documentation. So I usually write a lot of documentation, but okay. So what we have right now, it loads in questions and you can answer it. And it'll do just questions that are fill in the blank basically. And that's the only kind of question. So we're going to change this around so that there are more types of questions. So they've gone over now virtual functions and polymorphism, hopefully. And we're just going to make some different types of questions. So let's say multiple choice question, true false question, fill in the blank question. So now we can get rid of this answer here because that's not going to be part of the question class. We're going to implement different ways of doing answers in here. I think I tried to write this so that it could be changed up later. And then in the Quizzer app, well, we have a question manager. We're going to end up changing this to pointers. Let's see, how's this all working? So when we load our questions, we're going to have to add a couple parts. I might just make this not static, because then they can use a destructor. But sometimes I generally just will write the program itself, and then they have to implement the classes that it works with. So either way, I can do a static void cleanup questions. And then in here, we need to make sure to free that memory because we're going to be allocating memory. And we're going to have to think of how the question file format should be formatted. So this is all just kind of a big bunch of things to put all together. So while not empty, not is empty. Or I suppose we could just for auto if question pointer is not null pointer, then we delete question pointer, set it to null pointer, and should be setting the, well, then we can also just say this, clear it, m current index is 0. So at the end of Quizzer app, so we'll need a destructor here. Let's say question manager, clean up questions. And I need to put that in here. And yes, there is no M answer anymore. My brain is just kind of webbing out into all the different directions of things that are going to have to be updated. So I'm going to so for now, let's just figure out how these are going to look. So here it'll be a string answer. Here it can be like a Boolean answer. Or, I mean, that could kind of be a string also, but it depends on how you'd want to implement it. And the multiple choice question. We could hard code a 4 maybe. Int m answer as the index. Okay, so we aren't going to have these set up quite the same. We'll at least have set up with a question, display. We'll make it so that every subclass needs that, every subclass needs this. And we could do casting between types, I suppose. We'll see if it seems annoying to change from Boolean to a string. I mean, we can just literally make an if statement there. So in our questions, I'm gonna have to change these. There's a display with questions, so we can reuse that for all of the child classes. That's our loading friend function for the question type, and we can change that around for different subclasses. Let's say multiple choice question. False question, and oops, fill in the blank question. So we're going to need display and is answer correct for both of those. Or for all three of these. Oops. And I'll worry about comments later while I'm documenting things. So in these we can say question display. Just reuse that part and then add I mean the question display is going to be the same, but displaying the answers is going to be different. So for instance with multiple choice questions, say for int I is 0, I is less than 4, I plus plus, C out, we could do I plus 1, and then M options I as possible answers. And down here, we could just say 1 true or 2 false. And fill in your answer. Okay, so this really can kind of stay the same because that's how it was originally implemented. I do not need this in the original version anymore. I just need that as that pure virtual method. Sorry, I'm tired. I have not done stuff. Hello, how are you, Ido? I am writing programming assignments. I don't know if I really need to return the value of the answer. Maybe let's just have something like a run question. So we don't need to say is answer correct. It'll just be able to take care of that on its own. So we don't pass anything in. It will just be responsible for getting. It'll do display the question. They are going to enter an index number. Yeah, I teach C++ courses at a community college. So I am currently writing something for the students to work on polymorphism based on a previous version of the same project they did, where it was just normal. It was like all fill in the blank questions, but now I'm trying to add in different question types to kind of illustrate how that can work. And then here we could say return the index is equal to the correct index or the answer index. So I'm just implementing it first and then I'll write documentation for it. So I also have a lot of notes I need to write or convert from old notes because we're going to cover in my data structures class binary search trees like on Monday. So I just haven't gotten a whole lot done this week, so I'm going to have to be catching up on it on this week on the weekend. So I figured I might as well do some programming. Okay, so this one, display the question and options. string, or well, I guess this would be int, true or false. What does it say? User choice. Let's say it was true, but if user choice was, if true or false was 2, user choice was false, and then return user choice is equal to m answer. Yeah, this is going to be a programming project. So usually I'll write like the program and then the documentation that they'll follow along with. So like this is what the original documentation looked like, and it has starter code and information about the functions that need to be implemented, such like that. Let's see. Two upper answer equals 2 upper m answer. Oh yeah, and I have to update this part where it's loading from a text file, so I'm going to have to redefine how it differentiates between that. So, oops. We'll do something like type fill FITB. Type multiple choice. Type true false. Pineapple is great on pizza. Answer 1 for true. And then for this one, I'm gonna have to do option 1, option 2, option 3, option 4. Oh, oops, I did this backwards. This one is just 4. This one is multiple choice, so we'll do Lawrence, Kansas City, Topeka. What's another place in Kansas? Manhattan. Answer is number 2. So now I also have to rewrite this question parsing. But actually, this is going to be different because we don't load that way anymore. And that can be moved further down, maybe, if it'll let me. Kind of want to play video games, but I don't have the energy, and if I played video games, I'd be more behind. Okay. Actually, what am I thinking? Actually, well, no, this is fine, but in the question manager, I want to do this a little differently. So we have question manager, load questions, string question type. We'll just do this. Buffer if buffer is type, then we're gonna input the question type. I think I should just do most of the parsing from here, actually. That might be the easiest thing. Let's get rid of that. Okay. Else if buffer is question, else if buffer is answer, else if buffer is option 0, question text, string answer, bool answer, int answer, string MC options. It's kind of messy, but they're not going to be the one implementing the file parsing. I have a different programming assignment about file parsing, so. Okay. And we need then here is where we implement the polymorphism. Okay, so if we get question, we're gonna get line input into question text. Get line input into MC option 0. One, two, three. If question type is FITB, that's going to be a string. If it's MC, it's going to be an index, and otherwise it's going to be a Boolean. So input bool answer actually that should be a get line. And once we hit the question end, then we can actually create our question object. So question is a, well, we'll do that. Have this same set here. In this case, pointer question is a new fill in the blank question. Pointer question is a new multiple choice question. New true false question. And then we can just, since it's a friend, this manager is a friend class, we can just set these up directly. Which I kind of, it's fine. These will all be the same. I don't really like duplicating the code this way, but since they are 3 different types of questions, I don't really mind it here. Oh, am I gonna have to cast this? I'm trying to think. Because ideally, hello, how are you doing? You're not one of my students, are you? Like, gonna double check my roles. I don't. Yeah. I mean, it. Not that it would be impossible for them to find out about my YouTube channel, but it would be like, oh, hey, cool. Another programming teacher. Maybe I'll bring out the chat over here. Whee! I wish I could get rid of this little message. How are you doing today or tonight? Yeah, it's a community college course. I might actually implement this in a different way now that I've thought through this more. Boop 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 boop. We're gonna bring the stream operators back. Okay, so in this case, we're gonna do it this way instead. Input to pointer question. Well, is this gonna know the right? Huh. That's something I've never done with polymorphism before, because it's a external, so I don't think it would know the correct version to call. That would be weird. How would I do this? Always learning new things about C++. Because if this was a member function, I could make it virtual and it would just know how to do it. I guess I could do like a load question iStream in. I could just kind of do something like that and pass it directly. That will be interesting. Otherwise, I'm not sure how I would do that. I've never really ran into that before. Usually I don't overload operators a whole lot in my programs, especially like in my games. Okay, we're gonna keep the fill in the blank pretty much the same. So keep this question format cheat sheet thing. Boop. Get rid of that. I wonder if I need to. Do I need to return that? I don't think so. Alright. So the manager is going to instantiate it and then input it and throw it onto the vector of question pointers. I'm going to have to update some of these. Oh yeah, this goes in here, possibly. Did I move it? I did. Okay, good. Object. Oh. That would just be this. Okay. Well, this is just the blah blah blah. That one should be down here. And true false would be similar, except once we get answer, we're going to input it. Oops. But it's a Boolean. And then over here, we have question, else if buffer is option 0, and so on. And this will just be a stream because that's an index. That should be okay. I'm returning stuff I don't need to. Run question. Well, I can handle this inside of that function too. If it's correct at that, question, run question, somewhere down here. What languages do you teach, Pablo? Oops. Accidentally close that. Boop a doop boop boo. Okay, and then down here, I need to fix this. Ah. Yeah, don't need that anymore. Right, I need to fix these. Okay, so pointer question, load question from the input. I mean, that is all duplicate, so we can just do that. And it should be handled for us. Qualified ID and declaration. Oh, am I missing the end? Okay, yeah. Technically, these are pointers to questions. Could just return them that way. We have to update the app itself. Refactor that. Let's rename it. Just run it. Run the question. It takes care of the rest. Zero, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3. That's weird. Oh, I have that inside the loop. Okay, I really messed up this loops in some way. But, okay. 4. It's not Lawrence. False. Nice. So, there's a program that's using polymorphism. Now I have to figure out what I want my students to implement. So for instance, I'm not going to have them implement the question manager. I guess I made them implement that in the previous version of this, because this is like a building on top of a previous assignment. I'll take care of all that. We're just going to have them, well, actually, they can implement this part. So this part, I'm probably going to have them write all of these on their own. I mean, I could leave the function stubs and just have them make sure to write the class itself. It's kind of a trade-off between just how much time we have left in the semester and how much there is to do here. Okay, well, that is written, so I at least have, where's my notebook? The program written, and I can do a bunch of documentation all together at the same time, but I'm going to start on the next programming project, which is going to be data structures. So, where's my thingy-ding? Hello, Mr. E. Okay. Okay. The next thing is I'm going to look at, see if I can find any of my old programs, because with data structures, it's a lot better to have tests. And I've written these assignments before, but sometimes I get disorganized. So, let me just look in my old files. That doesn't seem like it's going to be a binary search tree. Some old notes. Oops. That was not what I wanted. So I can use these later. Where would... See, sometimes I lose whole repositories. And that is a drag. Oh, I have an old folder in my old folder. Here's the Project 3 specs. There's no code here. I can use this for reference. Oh, that's just even just a Doxygen file. Crap. Let me see if I can find any old repositories. Okay, I did find something. What? Did not like that. Do I already have it? Oops. This is why I mostly use GitLab now. I feel like I can find things easier than with Bitbucket. Like, I end up just having too many project repositories overall, and so many repositories for work, and volunteering, and teaching, and everything, and then I can't find my repositories afterwards. And then I'm sad. Okay. I'm going to make a link. And we'll just look in here. Do we have anything good? Car data program. Why is it as a tree? Seems weird. Oh, I have some traversal stuff in here. But why is it cars? Why is it a car tree? Why can't it do a thing? Is it all broken? It's always a good sign when nothing builds. Huh. What's this car program do? Car stats, traversal. Does it... I guess it could store these... I mean, alphabetically would be bad in a binary search tree. But if it was in like a random order, that'd be okay. might think of something better and more organized than this. What's a good use for trees? Could do one of those, like, I always forget the names. It's in my textbook somewhere. Ah, like postfix notation math or whatever. Prefix expressions. I mean, I could just start by adjusting this binary search tree. Or I could start by writing tests for the binary search tree, which would be a much better idea. I might have tests in here, do I? Oh yeah, I have this over here. Okay, so I could start just adapting this, I guess. Let's go over to project 3. No, this is CS235. Alright. I might go grab a glass of water really quick because I have a scratchy throat. I'll be right back. Making a cup of tea. Gotta wait for some water to heat up. Ooh, okay, so I also just have a bunch of these, not that, these, and my Q-test, unit test framework. So usually I will need, oh, I was writing a bunch of reusable ones here. That actually might be useful to do. Okay, well, I'll keep that in mind. And my C++ utilities. Because I like having my menu and my logger. And maybe my string utility. Probably not. Oh, I'll throw it all in there for now. I'll remove it later if we need. I like having my not implemented exception type. And my data structure folder. Guess I'll make these all consistent. And yeah. I know, I haven't made a main. Kind of prefer to just write like a generic binary search tree and a tester and then worry about assignment tomorrow or something. We got tester base. I'm gonna need a tester for the data structure, so we're gonna need binary search tree and binary search tree tester. And we currently have nothing in there. And that's gonna need a node as well. Should I put it just at the top of the file? I kind of like having the node at the top of the file. And they're going to be templates as well. This can be, well, should it be a struct kitty cat or should I make it a class? It doesn't really matter on the long run. Technically, the user isn't supposed to see the node, are they? That's right, kitty cat. You know your data structures. Okay, let me double check my... I was gonna reference my old stuff. Boop. Hello. Hello, kitty cat. I love you too. Actually, a lot of this, well, I'll adjust it because sometimes I change these versions up. But let me go check on my tea. I'll be right back. So, what we're gonna do is open the other things tester. If I can find the folder. Yes. Just open it with Genie. Oh, I'm so tired. Maybe I should just play video games. But I have work I need to do. But I also have to be up early. But it's only 7:30 or 7:45. But it feels much later because it's dark outside. This has been an exhausting week. Okay. I might also grab another data structures book. Or, actually, I was just thinking to myself, like, it feels like it's been forever since I implemented a binary search tree, which kind of, because I didn't teach last year, I taught the year before that. I worked as a programmer again for a short period of time, and then I was like, fuck this. I was like, I'm going back to teaching. Teaching is the best. And people at least are pretty nice. Okay. Oops. Let me at least grab this. I'll figure out if I want to keep it in the same way. Oh yeah, I totally forgot about key and data. Yeah, that's okay. Because I guess when I was implementing this, it's kind of like, why would you need to search for the data and find it in the tree? I mean, unless you're doing something besides just storing data, like if the tree represented something specific. But in that case, let's create a file for that. But if you're just using it to store data, and you were searching the data based on a key that you had, but the key is the only thing stored in the tree, then why would you even need to search the tree? Okay, is tree, got key, got data, got left and right pointers. Destroy the children. I assume if it's not a tree, then it's just a leaf. I don't know what implementation this is based off of, which book. And then here, oh, the old tester. Push contains find node, find parent of node, delete, get in order, post order, pre-order, facts, count, and height. Okay, so I'm going to erase the other functions down here. I'll name this, change it to binary search tree tester. Yeah, I should test the node also. I could make a completely different tester, but there's not really good reason to do that. mean, I think that's what that means. I'm just gonna have to go through and look at this old thing. But we are gonna do some node test first. Probably a constructor test for the other thing too. We can also test the destructor. Just to make super sure the students are cleaning up that data. Hmm. I might be too tired to write a ton of tests. I'll do at least a few. Okay, so we have our node. There are no prereqs, it's fine. Oh well, if it'll... Okay, I'm very confused about this is not tree. I really need to look this up later. But I could have a throw not implemented exception. Node. And that would be something that would tell the students that they need to implement this. I still don't have a main. Let's do that. Oh, I have that real quick. Da, 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 da. We don't need linked list. Maybe that was just a... We need node. I know, I haven't implemented all of these. Node constructor versus constructor. See, I'm tired. Yes, I know. Let's use maybe characters for the key and strings for the data. I know. So that one, it literally just creates a node up here and sees if it does the constructor, if that throws that exception. If it throws the exception, then the user hasn't implemented, the student hasn't implemented all the prerequisites for this test, so we'll then skip the test because Otherwise, it could crash something. Depends on which function, but I just have that as a general thing. So that's just one test. Let me copy these. And I am not gonna do all of this stuff. Probably just spend all of my Saturday working on things. Oops. Okay. After the prereq, these should be pointer, create new node, pointer left, pointer right should be null pointer. So I could do that. Actually, I'll do this backwards. If it's not, we'll do this. So this is just outputting what the actual data is. So if the test fails, you'll want to know why it failed. So this will output like, hey, it wasn't initialized to null pointer. Instead, it was initialized to, and it's probably just going to display a garbage memory address. Yep, not that. And so it will fail for either of those. Actually, I could just probably put this here. So if it fails, I mean, that's just one failing test. Otherwise, it passes. So if I run this, of course, these are all going to be angry that there's nothing there. Let me just like put some stubs in here. Oh, I don't have the... Oh. Maybe just a copy paste error from before. Oh no, start test is right here. And oh, it ends the test inside of that, I believe. So in here, start test, description, it would finish the test. I could set comments if I needed. Item 0. usually I store like an int expected out result, int actual result. Yeah, I'm just making something reusable again. Okay. These will go in all of these. I haven't used Emacs in a bit because I couldn't get Spacemacs to work last time I ran things. I should try that. I do miss Spacemacs. I'm not sure if I have Also, it's been a long time, so I've forgotten all the keyboard shortcuts. But I have a cheat sheet I can use to remember things. Okay. Then we just clone this. I don't know if I need to technically run Emacs first. There we go. My preferred style is Emacs. Start with a standard distribution. Let's do that one. Please install correctly this time. We'll see how that goes. I am probably gonna fall asleep. I don't know. Did I paste this into everything? Okay, I just need to fix these labels. I don't know if C++ has any sort of reflection. I need to really review some C++ stuff, like a lot of newer things. No errors? Or are you giving me a weird error? What is this? I don't know what this is. Will it work? What crap is this bullshit? Well, stay there for a moment. My least favorite thing is when I install something new. I've done nothing to it yet, so technically, like, it shouldn't be broken because I haven't messed with it. But then it's broken anyway, and then I'm just like, well, now I don't have a base point to compare to. Alright, so I'm just going to build this, and then when you run it, it would show all of the tests, and if they pass. But the big thing here with my tester, that's the old one, is that it will also output a test result, and it gives you more information here, which I could rewrite this at some point to look nicer, but it basically is what is needed in order to diagnose your testing problems. So, alright, I am tired. I might play games. I'm trying to think. Like, I still have Trials of Mana I could play. That would be easy, because my brain feels mostly dead right now. So my brain isn't going to work with, like, a strategy game. I don't know, but... maybe I'll stream it. I don't know. I'll see how I feel. I'm gonna mess with some Emacs for a minute. Bye.